Good frosty morning to everyone. Anyone who's tuning in for this build, you'll have seen part 1 and 2. I've just been mucking around with it. I just want to say a few things first. I'm not endorsing anyone. I'm not saying go and buy the chassis. I bought the chassis. I noticed a few things wrong with it, and then it's turned into this little project in this little set of videos that you're seeing. I'll point out straight away when if you get it, that is, the position between these two holders here, it doesn't matter if you have them the way I've got them set or if you have them set that way, the space is exactly the same between them. So your original battery will quite literally just fit in. And if you try to use the 144 battery, the little 1500 mAh thing, that doesn't quite sit in, you'd have to squeeze it in and then you risk damaging the battery. Also the strap, so I'll point the strap out. This is just for like obviously people who are expecting to be able to change it over. Yous aren't, in my opinion, quite frankly, yous aren't. So the original battery, and I've actually shortened this lead, as you can see here. I'll just get it in view there. So I've stitched it. I've already took about, here it is, about an inch. Took about an inch out of it or something like that. And then it'll sit round. But if you don't take that inch out of there, as you can see there, the fluffy part will just keep continuing around and you won't even get the battery in. And I also tried it, if you stood the battery up like that, with the strap original, it won't fit in either. You've got to actually cut the original strap. So anyways, I've done that. I'll get that out of the way. What else was I wanting to point out? The screws, I'm going to get straight to the screws actually. So the screws that you get with a kit, I think everybody knows they don't fit whatsoever, so you're going to have to replace them yourself. And there's a little kit you can get like on Banggood, eBay. It's got a M2, M25 and M3 screw setting. Generally covers the length. However, the top screws that go into your top deck and screw into the what would be the metal bearing brace. No, where is it? There it is, the metal pin brace, sorry. So the aluminium pin brace, these are meant to be metal screws. Too short, couldn't find a set that worked, so they're the actual plastic ones. You just be dead ginger, screwing them in. The threads seem to cut into the aluminium, so that's worked for me personally. Would I recommend it? No. This is my project, so you know the rule, guys. But anyways, I've set the tyres up. So just a few questions coming in about the tyres locking when people are putting them on. So I'll show you what I do, how I set my tyres up, and then I'll leave it for 24 hours. So for setting your wheels, most people will probably have them on the desk like that, and then start tightening things up until the nut stops, yeah? And then when I pick it up, there's no movement in the wheel whatsoever. When you're putting the wheel on, try and keep it in your hand until you can just feel the tension come onto the nut. And if it feels like it's binding just a tiny bit, just back it off. That's all it takes. It's just that little bit like that. But before you do that, add a little bit of Loctite to the nut and leave it for 24 hours. I call it top deck, top tray. I've obviously had to Dremel some out. I need to Dremel a little bit more out by the looks of it, because I kind of get the gear to sit any further back because of the pin, but I want the pin in as a retainer. So I'll just Dremel some more out the front, because obviously I'm not using these holes here. I'll just make that a scoop, but it's nice, as you can hear the mesh. Can you hear that? Sounds lovely. So what I'll be doing on this one is fitting the servo. These mounts here, I actually used the A959 on a different project. So these mounts here are like for a 1 in 10 scale. And as you can see, I've just chopped the back down. They were like a 2-tier with the screws, so they came way higher. So I've just cut them down so they're level with the JX servo there. That fits in, but the problem is the holes on the back here, the little retainer grub, whatever you want to call that pin, made of plastic, is bigger than the one that comes on the chassis. So you'll have to drill the back one out, keeping the front one in, because the front one actually is for your screw anyways. So I'll do that. So that's a servo in now. As you can see, nice fit. I've just had to drill it out to a 4mm hole for the pin at the back, and I had to recountersink the front to suit my screws. You might have to do that as well. The steering linkages, it's all nice and free moving. I mean, as you can see, I'm grabbing it with my gimpy thumb, so that's free moving. I can set the servo horn once obviously the electrics is in, and I can set everything nice and straight, plus my linkages. So from here, I'll put the ESC just down here, and I'll get back to you once that's in. Well, I've had a little tidy up instead. Obviously, I've put the ESC in. While I was doing the ESC, I just thought I'll wire it up, do all my wire management from there, sorry. I'll just bring it up so you can see it. So, it's just a 35 amp ESC, Wltoys RC. That's the only battery I can really safely fit in here, in my opinion, is the original one that you get with the A959. But the wiring's looking nice and neat. Obviously, I've took that extra portion out here at the back. It gives us plenty of space for the gear to move around. Yeah, it's meshed nicely for me. I'm using the what is it? The Cheetah receiver. So the old Mark 1 Cheetah with the most temperamental control in the world. So yeah, I put a little fan on just for giggles. So that's all working. All I've got to do is connect the servo up. I'll do that next, and I'll give you a little shot of it running. And I've got a new body to show you as well that fits the A959. So stick around and I'll show you that. So just a little quick tip, guys, when you're setting your servos, your horn's obviously 90 degrees straight up, and you want this one here to be 90 degrees to that, so it's like a nice Z. So if this is happening here, as you can see that line's kicking off, if you've got any of these spare, your little tie rods, cut a little piece off the end, which will give you one of these, and I'll get back to you once I've fitted that, and you'll see the angle change on there. There we have it. Just like an off stay or an off stand or whatever you call them, just like Armours when they have them on the suspension. You can buy them. So rather than buying them, if you've got some of these links, just chop a little piece off, and it'll bring that angle out for you for 90 degrees. Just make sure you've got enough thread on here though, or it's kind of pointless. The carbon fibre plates that I'd made for the bottom, if you can make those out there, I've just taken the angles off them, done both of them, just hand sanded them. In fact, it was the same way that I'd done the drive shaft when I shortened the drive shaft. If you look at that video, it's the little sanding disc connected to the drill. So that's how I've done those. I'll get those connected. So that's it. There's the plates on, looking nice. Actually, they've got a purpose for this car, because if you don't have them on, the backs, like I shown in part 1, just seem to bend. So I'll just give it a quick switch on so you can hear it running and that. Shame I kind of take it out today, but the weather's been absolutely horrendous. Steering works absolutely fine. Headphone users, be warned. So that's that, guys. That's how I'm going to be running it, but with the new body. What do you think of that, guys? Happy days. That's me done with this project. So you've seen it running. This is the body, HS1803. It's another numbered car. Cost a couple of quid, I think it was off eBay. So that's how I'll be running this one. If you've enjoyed it, like it, please leave a comment. If you haven't already subscribed, think about doing so, and I'll always come up with new little ways of trying to impress you guys with mods for these little things. So anyways, thanks a lot for your support, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.